Good afternoon, everyone. So I don't have a presentation prepared. I'm just going to talk a little bit about who I am and who our company is and some of the things that are pertinent to investors in our sector. And I'd be delighted to take questions as we go through and certainly at the end. So our company is called Zoetic International. We are listed on the London Stock Exchange. We're listed on the main market, and we are the only London-listed company that is vertically integrated in the CBD and hemp space. Now, what I mean by that is that in Colorado, we grow our own hemp. We have an indoor and an outdoor facility. We manufacture our own CBD products over in Colorado, and we sell under two brands. One brand is Zoetic, which is the logo I've got on my T-shirt today, and the other brand is Chill. Now, Zoetic is a relatively high-end brand. Our stand is G11, if you'd like to come and see us later, and you'll get an idea of the type of products we sell and the type of branding we have. At the moment in the UK, we're selling CBD oils in four flavors and 2 strengths. Our second brand, Chill, is probably more of a fun brand. It's a tobacco alternative brand. It includes CBD smokables, and I've not seen any of those in the room today. This is something we have in the US. Also chew pouches, which is a very, I suppose, North American or continental European style of taking CBD. And we also do vapes as well. And we're just moving into to gummies and expanding the range of products through Chill accordingly. As I mentioned, we've been listed on the London market for a little over 4 years. The history of the company is we actually started out as an oil and gas company. We discovered during the course of last year a nitrogen supply in Kansas. This is essentially old air that has been trapped underground for many millions of years. The oxygen has reacted away, and what we're able to produce straight out of the ground is 99% pure nitrogen. Now, in amongst the other gases, we discovered hydrogen. And for those of you who may have done chemistry at school, nitrogen and hydrogen make a very powerful fertilizer. Now, because our gas comes out of the ground as it is, we don't require any treatment to it whatsoever, we're able to sell it as an organic fertilizer. Now, we tested this on cannabis plants. Cannabis is legal in Colorado, where we're based, both medicinally and recreationally. And the results were we got a 30% increase in growth. So the root ball, the size of the plant, and importantly, the yield. Now, being London listed, moving into recreational cannabis was going to present a number of regulatory hurdles. What we did instead is we took control of a defunct cannabis company that had a very state-of-the-art indoor facility. We have a 33,000 square foot facility in western Colorado. It's essentially a very high-tech greenhouse that is separated into 4 bays where we can control the temperature, the humidity, the light. We can produce 4 crops, up to 4 crops a year. We generally try and run it as 3 crops. The reason for that is we produce seed. So we're interested in the seed genetic business. And when I said that we're vertically integrated, if you imagine the life cycle of a hemp seed to plant to what you see on the shelves here, where we want to be is we want to be at the very start of that life cycle. We want to be in the seeds. Now we've been paying $1 per seed wholesale for high quality hemp seeds. Now that sounds extraordinarily expensive compared to most plants. The reason for that is that hemp and cannabis are plants that grow in male and female varieties. Now, it's only the female variety that produces any yield. Male plants have absolutely no value at all. In fact, they have a negative value. If you buy a cheap bag of seeds and plant a mixture of male and female plants, not only are you going to have to take out the male plants, because they won't reveal the gender until they've been a few weeks in, but if you're slow at it, the male plants will cross-pollinate the female plants, and you'll lose an awful lot of your yield. So there's a big premium to be paid for feminized seeds. And what we do in our indoor facility is we produce guaranteed feminized seeds. Now we can produce around about 1 million seeds per month across each of the bays. It's around about 110 days from planting the seed to the plant actually producing more seeds. And a good quality plant will produce up to about 500 seeds. So that's the sort of first and probably the biggest part of our business. As I mentioned, we also have an outdoor facility. We have 16 acres, which will be harvested actually in about 3 weeks' time. And we have our own manufacturing facilities. So the smokable products, the vapes that I mentioned, those are all manufactured in-house. We have some CBD oil here today, which again is our own product. The second area that we're interested in being in is the end of the life cycle. the brands. We can make money growing hemp, harvesting hemp. We can make money by producing CBD products, but the margins are relatively low compared to the seeds that I mentioned at the start and also the brands. If you have a good quality brand which has good quality, dependable products, then the margin on branding can be considerably higher than that middle ground of producing the crop and manufacturing the products. So when I meet investors as Zoetic International, I talk about being at the start and the end of the process. We want to be in seeds and we want to be in brands, but we're always going to do the full life cycle. We're always going to say that we're vertically integrated. And this is important. If you come and see us on our stall today, I'll be able to say with the products we have here, I can say exactly where they were grown. I can talk about the field that we extracted the hemp, extracted the CBD from. So we always have total control over our product. But as I say, where we want to be is we want to be at the start and we want to be at the end. We started selling in the UK about 6 weeks ago. We sell on our own website here, and we're just beginning to build out a distribution network. Over in the US, we also sell online, but we sell particularly through Chill, which is the tobacco alternative brand. We sell through convenience stores. So to you and me, a BP Connect station, but of course everything is much bigger in the US, and these are mini supermarkets. Now, similar to the UK, the tobacco regulation in the US requires all tobacco products sit behind the counter. Tobacco is heavily taxed and margins are relatively thin. That does not apply to CBD, and it doesn't apply to CBD smokables. So one of the particular attractions that we have to convenience stores and any store that is interested in selling our CBD smokable products is the retailer themselves can make a margin that is probably 4 or 5 times higher than selling tobacco products. Also, CBD products can sit front and center on the counter. So as you come to pay for your petrol, your groceries, the CBD products can sit right front and center, not behind a screen and not behind the person on checkout. It gives the customer much greater access, and what we're finding is that the volume of product that is sold per store is far higher. We use certain online distributors as well. There's a very well-known one in the US called Leafy Quick. They're based in Chicago. Their particular USP is that they offer same-day delivery. So if you buy a CBD product at Leafy Quick in the morning, rather like Amazon here in the UK, you'll have it delivered to your home in the afternoon. Now, that only applies to the Chicago area. It doesn't apply right across the US, but they're rolling out the same-day delivery in other cities as well, and we also supply in their stores. As I mentioned at the start, I spend a lot of time talking to investors. I get a lot of questions about what really matters and what should they look for in a CBD company. I mean, the very short answer is you should look for a company that's making money. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful products here today, and there's a lot of wonderful ideas, but what really counts is can you make money? And so going back to what I said earlier about being at the start and the end of the process, we want to be vertically integrated, and we want to cover the entire life cycle, but where we can make the highest margin is the seed genetics and getting those feminized seeds right and having a good quality feminized seed that will germinate quickly, have a high germination rate that's going to be more than 90%, and will produce a high content of CBD and a low content of THC. All of our products, by the way, are THC free. Over in Colorado, there's the oil and gas industry remains prevalent over there. That's an industry that has random drug tests. And there is a theory that if you're taking CBD products regularly, and they may contain traces of THC, well, THC can stay in your system for quite a long period of time. So we deliberately supply completely THC-free products. Same here in the UK, by the way. So there's absolutely no risk of anyone accidentally tripping over a random drug test. These are fairly unlikely events, but it's quite a powerful marketing tool that we use over in the States. I'm going to touch on vapes as well. In the US, we've been selling vapes for a while, and I'm sure many of you have seen in the newspapers some of the commentary about the health problems that have been occurring over in the US due to people using vapes. We've taken the decision the last few days, we're going to take vapes off the shelf. There is nothing about our vapes that has been implicated in any of the health problems, but just for the time being, we're coming out of vapes, and we're offering in the US a policy. We're calling it People Before Profit, and we're asking people if they want to send in their old vapes, we'll give them a 50% discount off our smokes and off our chew pouches. It's given us a lot of profile, and it's given us the ability to get new customers into maybe a different product that they didn't perhaps realize that CBD could be included in. The other thing that we suggest investors look for is look for a company that is completely transparent. We have on our website all of our lab reports. Every single product has its own lab report. Every product we sell, we supply a lab report to the intermediary, to the distributor, to the retail company. I met with a stock exchange a little while ago, and they were asking me about what they should do when they speak to some of the companies that want to list in this space on the London Stock Exchange. And the first thing I said was, look, ask for the lab reports. A good quality company making a good quality product will be absolutely delighted to show you their lab report, and they'll be proud to show you that what they're selling is exactly what is on the label. Anyone who's hesitating, that's where the red flags start to appear. We never hesitate at all at showing our lab reports. We know exactly what's in our product. As I say, we're vertically integrated, and so we're delighted to show people the lab reports and the safety data sheets. I'm beginning to run out of things to say, but I'd be delighted to take questions if anyone would like to ask me anything about what it's like being listed and things investors look for.
Could you share a little bit about the investor appetite for these kind of businesses?
The investor appetite is absolutely extraordinary. I mean, in my career, I probably have to go back to the dot-com boom of 1999 and 2000 to see the same level of enthusiasm that we're getting from investors. We have daily inquiries from people wanting to know more about what we do, wanting to get involved. We have a way to go. We're still relatively early in the CBD and hemp industry, and one of the mistakes that we're determined not to make is we're not going to overhype our product and not going to overhype our expectations. As you can see from the room today, this is a very competitive industry. I'm very proud of our products, but I'm sure everyone here would say exactly the same. And we need to brand well, we need to market well, and we need to validate ourselves by getting attached to good quality, recognized retailers and distributors. So we have no shortage of people looking to invest, and I know from other people in the industry who are raising money at the moment, the enthusiasm is extremely high. But it is important, I think, just to be realistic. There's only so much CBD that's going to be consumed across the UK and across Europe. There's going to be winners and losers. I think the winners will be those with a clear strategy and a good quality product.
So just one more thing. As a result of things not being quite regulated yet, is there a risk premium, or is there an opportunity premium that people are paying for investment?
It's a good question. I think this industry is crying out for regulation. I was on this stage yesterday, and I was saying that if you ask 3 different lawyers the same question about CBD in the UK, you'll probably get 3 different answers or 3 different interpretations of what the regulations are. I think the industry is looking for a regulatory body to take control and set out what should be in the products, what should be on the labels. And I think, again, if you're a good quality company with a good quality approach and a consistent approach to your manufacturing, regulation is absolutely nothing to be scared of, and certainly we at Zoetic would welcome regulation. What we are finding is certainly in the financial services industry, there's a lot of concern. I mean, there have been some fairly well-publicized scandals of companies claiming to be in hemp. They're actually dealing in cannabis or marijuana. They're claiming certain things about what is on their label. Actually, the testing's revealing something quite different. And financial services, I used to work in financial services, as you heard earlier. It's one of the most conservative industries that I've come across, and any hint or any risk of scandal tends to make people pull away. So there is a risk premium. It is very difficult in this industry to get a conventional bank account. It's very difficult to get payment processing. There are many people here taking credit card payments, but I'm sure all of them will have had to jump through many, many hoops to convince the payment process they work with that what they're doing is legitimate and in line with regulations. I probably every week get an investor say to me, this all sounds amazing, Nick, but is it legal? Are you actually selling cannabis? Well, absolutely not. We don't sell any cannabis. We only sell hemp. But nevertheless, CBD to many people is still a very new industry, and a lot of people will ask, am I going to lose my money? Can I get my money out? Can you pay dividends? And it's, for us, being based in the US and being listed in the UK, we've got that double question, or even a triple question. So over in the US, we need to be compliant with state law, so Colorado law. We need to be compliant with federal law, and obviously we need to be compliant with UK law. And any investor who commits to us wants to know that any money we make in Colorado can eventually be repatriated to the UK so they can get their dividends or their capital return. Now, we have very good quality legal opinions from firms based both in the UK and the US confirming that is absolutely the case. In fact, our lawyer is in the building today. I spotted him earlier. So we're absolutely certain that what we do is right. But it's a question I'd encourage all investors to ask companies they're looking at. Are they happy that the chain of where the money is going, where the money is coming from, can it be repatriated when the time comes?
Going back to the feminized seeds thing you said earlier, how is that possible? How can you tell the gender of a seed?
We have an infrared machine that we scan every seed we produce to confirm that it is feminized. So we can say with 99.9% certainty that if we sell a bag of seeds, they are feminized, and that would be guaranteed.
Why is that not more widespread? Why isn't everyone doing that?
We're not the only people doing it, but the advantage we have is this. I mean, it's a state-of-the-art indoor facility. It cost about $4 million to build, and of that cost, about a quarter of it was the technology that goes into it. We can completely seal it off from the outside. Now, a lot of hemp is grown in Colorado, so any outdoor growing or any growth that is exposed to winds and external air currents runs the risk that male pollen can find its way into the female plants. We can seal the facility. So, and we have filters on all of the air conditioning units. There is no chance that any male pollen will get into our facility. So we cross female with female plants and to produce feminized seeds. And we register with the US Department of Agriculture our own strains. It's not quite like having a patent on a plant, but the strains we produce will be recognized as Zoetic strains. And we would hope and expect that over the years, people who look to buy a good quality feminized seed will recognize that if it's got the Zoetic strain or the Zoetic stamp of quality on it, they will know that it ticks all the boxes I mentioned. So it has to be feminized, that's most important, has to have a high germination rate, and has to have a high content of CBD and low THC.
Thank you.
I just wanted to understand a bit more about the edibles, gummies, confectionery. What's your thoughts on those?
So just at the moment, we're not selling any edibles, although we're about to start selling gummies over in the US, and I think we'll bring those to the UK as well. I think my thoughts on all CBD products are that the bigger the range we as a company can have, and the bigger the range that any company can have, is probably to their benefit. CBD is a very personal thing, and how you want to take it and why you want to take it will vary from individual to individual. And so it's important to us that we provide a range of options for all of our customers. Now, I mean, our biggest seller, our best seller are the smokes. Now, I'm not a smoker. I've tried them. They seem pretty good, but I'm really not the best person to ask. But what we're looking to do is to provide that range of opportunities. Gummies, I think, are quite fun. It's hard not to like a gummy. It gives you a more consistent dose as well. I mean, if you are taking it for a particular reason, you know that each gummy is going to contain a certain amount of CBD according to where you bought it from and what the packaging says. So we quite like the idea of gummies in our chill brand. I'm not sure gummies would necessarily fit in Zoetic, given that Zoetic is sort of a higher end sort of spa-based brand. But I think gummies and edibles. I mean, chocolate we're quite interested in as well. So I guess watch this space and you'll see a few ideas. G11.
Please do go visit a stand, talk to them. That's why no one can hear me. Okay. G11. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Tulloch from Zoetic. So thank you very much.
Thank you.